Hey viewers, welcome back to my channel Vaha Woman. This is your friend and host Rajni Vohra, and it's time to meet a lovely guest today. As you know that an artist's creative capabilities are so engrossing and profound that ordinary people often wonder at their ability to come up with something so subtle yet meaningful out of the mundane. My today's guest is a creative artist who followed her heart and her passion throughout her life. She's a retired chief commissioner of income tax, a prolific Indian abstract artist, a poet, a filmmaker with 35 solo exhibitions, 21 published books, 11 documentary films to her credit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together to welcome this immensely talented woman, Sangeeta Gupta. Sangeeta, we welcome you wholeheartedly on our show and thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, Rajni, and thank you for such glowing words. Thank you. You're a very generous person.
Let me start this conversation by talking about your documentary that you have recently released. That is
Right.
Amritsar Atari, the Last Village.
Last Village.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think very recently you have released it, and yesterday I was watching it, and I really loved it. The way you have covered each and every detail of Amritsar, the historical perspective of Amritsar, because most of us have forgotten that golden history, that golden past of Amritsar. So thank you so much for refreshing our memories about Amritsar, the great place, the holy place. And let me congratulate you for that documentary. So Sangeeta, it is believed that artists are simple yet complex human beings. Yeah, they have complex mind. How much true do you see in this statement? One. Secondly, at what age did you see or recognize this trait in you?
I would tell about the traits of an artist. Any creative person, people, the rest of the world, they consider us as a bit eccentric or maybe very moody.
Yeah.
But moody in the sense they are moody when they are engrossed in their work. They don't want to talk to anybody, at least at that point of time. Suppose I am in my studio making a painting, I would rather disconnect myself from the rest of the world for at least that time when I am working, so, or writing. So people may think that moody hai, phone nahi utha rahi hai, but ऐसा होता नहीं है. People, artists are very loving people, poets are they are very romantic, very loving people. But at the same time, most of the people, they may tend not to understand them because of their work culture. वो रात को they are working late nights and then they don't get up in time. That kind of bohemian, perception of people are there. But by and large, I feel that the people who are creative, they are more disciplined when it comes to their creativity. Suppose in a day, if I've not done anything creative, I feel very restless. So, and we want our space, we want our time, alone time. Most of the people are very scared of being alone. But we crave for that. Artists crave for that. So it's the need, the need of a creative person, I would say. That may look complex, but they are very simple, loving people.
Yeah, indeed. And so my second part of this question was that at what age did you recognize this particular trait in you?
For as far as poetry is concerned, when I was a very young child, my father inculcated this habit in all my siblings and in me also, that you must write your journal, write whatever, diary likho, apne bare mein likho, whatever you think, how did your day go and what did you do. So that habit was always there. And while, I was a boarding student because we came from a small town, and when we came home during summer vacation and all, I used to read books, because when we were kids, there was no TV, no internet, nothing. So books were our best friends. I was reading all the Bengali classics translated in Hindi and as well as in English, because I can't, at that point of time, I could not read Bengali. So I was reading Gitanjali, and I was so enamored by the
Rabindranath Tagore.
mystic poetry of Rabindranath Tagore. He became my role model. He also dabbled in many fields. I would not say that one can, but one can aspire to be like him.
Yes.
So that was, I thought that if he can write poetry, he can write songs, he can create music, he can paint. He started painting at the age of 65. And
Right.
I think in today's time, we say that he's the most contemporary artist, who did a free flow of work and very, very relevant artwork he did.
Right.
Though his brothers were more traditional in their approach to painting, he was very, very liberated kind of a soul.
Right.
So these were my early influences, and I started writing around maybe 15, 16-year-old. My drawing hand was very good, but my father always wanted all his children to be on their own. And he was very particular that I don't want any of my daughter not to be independent and not to do something worthwhile in life. Marriage is not the only thing which should, aspire. And I will not even look for a groom. You have to find your own partner, kind of a thing. So we had a different kind of upbringing. And because
very amazing those days in Gorakhpur, in place like some interior town of UP.
Yes,
Gorakhpur,
yes.
In 50s, in late 50s, having this kind of mindset was not an ordinary thing. I would say that
not an ordinary thing. My father was very, very particular that we should do everything on our own. We should become independent. I come from a very affluent family, but he said, go and deposit your fee, do everything, go to the post office, learn how to send a parcel or maybe, a money order or whatever. So, and you become a decision maker. What you want exactly, you have to tell me. Why should I buy your clothes? You tell me how you have to decide for yourself. So that, these are small things, but they matter in life when you become a decision maker. And I used to really grudge कि सबके फादर आते हैं, उनकी फीस जमा करते हैं, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, और मेरे डैडी को देखो बोलते जाओ अपने से करो, जाओ अपने से करो. But then it is important. Now I realize how important it is to be self-independent.
Right. So you have been the first woman who qualified civil services from her
district.
Yes.
Because I come from a very, very small town called Tampui. It was a state, and it is now part of Kushinagar district. Earlier it was part of Gorakhpur, then it became a smaller district called Devariya, and from there now it is another district. It's called Kushinagar. So where Mahatma Buddha took his Mahanirvan. So we come from a very small town, but my father himself was a very educated person. He was very educated. My mother was very educated. My grandfather went to study in Oxford University. So that kind of background I have as far as education is concerned. They were all very educated, and they value that only education can groom you in a better person.
That education was the reason of their progressive thinking. It is not always being affluential. There are people, very rich people, but they still have very conservative mindset, especially about daughters.
Right.
So I think education here makes a lot of difference, and that difference is very much visible in your upbringing. So I just wanted to understand the reaction of the society during those days when you achieved this extraordinary position in your life.
My father was, my father always said that, Mama, one of my, children have to be in civil services. I want one of you to do that. And I thought, let me try. I didn't even tell him that I'm appearing for civil services. I thought, hoga to bata denge, aise karke, and I appeared and I got into it, and as luck would have it, the results were declared, and wo newspaper mein naam waam aata hai. Then my father came to know, and he was very proud. He said, "You never told me that you are appearing for civil services." I said, "I thought if I make it, then I'll tell you. Otherwise, why tell you that I have disqualified?" So that kind of a thing. He was very proud of me when I qualified, and even my, the town and that district, they were very happy that some woman has done this. And
yes, indeed.
That way, your upbringing is so important. I'm the third daughter of my parents, but they never made me feel that, you know, coming from a business class Banya family where you know, a son is so important, but
Yes.
they did not care. In fact, I was more pampered than anybody else.
You have been very
And
fortunate that
when I
I
had
would
a
say
fight
that.
with my brother, he
Yeah.
always took my side. My brother was born later and he was younger to me by 3 years. But whenever we fought as siblings, he never asked anything. He said, "Tumne kuch kiya hoga," and he used to be slapped. You know, never me. So that kind of, you know, that kind of pampering really helps. I never realized there's a difference between a male child and a girl child.
Which is a big thing. Which is actually a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sangeeta, my next question is related with this point only, that it is believed that art is genderless, and it has, you know, at the same time, it has immense ability to render an expression coming from the heart of an artist. Nonetheless, how much impact do you see in your work, you know, of the society you grew into, journal as a woman?
You know, art is really art or literature, both. They may say that this is a female artist, this is a woman poet. Matlab, that is all altogether, you know, somehow I have outgrown all this, and I always feel that the soul is more important. And the
Indeed.
soul doesn't have a gender. So all my writing is not, you know, not even subject wise also, it is not women oriented. I do write because I'm a woman. What I will say is it will also be a women's perspective, but then I'd never consider gender. And you know, I was in a job which was so technical. In and around me, everybody who was working with me or under me or above me, they were all males. Most of the time, even when I do a finance committee meeting with JNU, I'm a member there, but then there's no female, and I'm comfortable and they are comfortable with me. I don't, you know, become conscious about the gender. So childhood also was like that. And my you won't believe that my father, when somebody approached him for my, you know, for my marriage, my father said, "My daughter is too independent. You have to go meet her, and if she agrees, then I can think about you, you know, as my son-in-law." He was in writing, he wrote, you know, he sent a letter. So that kind of father I had.
Very, very fortunate, I would say. Very, very extraordinary fortunate you have been in your life. Sangeeta, because I mean, as far as my knowledge goes, in early 70s or even in late 80s, till late 80s, we didn't have many women leaders, except in politics. Except in politics, there were hardly any role models in our society, in Indian society. And I mean, we didn't have many people to look up to as women leaders during those days. And to have this kind of mindset during those times, I think that was very, very difficult and extraordinary thing. You know, I'm really surprised when you are talking to me. Yes.
I feel that I'm very lucky because both my sides, you know, my parental side and my maternal side, both were very progressive people. Though they were very affluent people, they had business, everything, but their approach towards women was extraordinary. Now I realize what is happening in the society. Then I see that, oh my God, I never realized I'm the third daughter. Never in my life. In fact, I was more pampered than others. So, you know, I never heard my parents saying anything which would have, you know, hurt me.
Make you feel that you are a daughter, that there's a gender.
And because we were treated specially as more than, you know, the male child, so we did better. We did better. All my sisters and my mother went to university. She was born and brought up in Eastern UP, Mirzapur se the hum log. And then my mother, when she grew up, she went to study in Patna University, Muzaffarpur University, where no woman had ever gone. कोई अपने घर से निकल के यूनिवर्सिटी में कोई लड़की उस समय नहीं जाती थी. And I still remember in 1947 when my mother did her high school, somehow we were looking into papers, you know. So we found one certificate from Patna University. At that point of time, even high school was education in
Mhm.
1947 was governed by university.
Mm.
Can you beat it? So,
Mm.
I'm proud of my parents that during those days, even my grandparents, when no girl went out of the house, they went to the university to study with boys. We were told that marriage is important, but it is not so important. You
Mm.
are not a parasite or a burden on this earth. Prove
Mm.
your worth, prove your worth.
That's very
That way, upbringing really matters. And
matters.
we was always surrounded with books. जो पढ़ना है पढ़ो, books
Mm.
पढ़ो, paint करो, जो करना है करो.
It was never a pressure like only be a doctor, you are a daughter, be a doctor, son,
No,
be
no.
an engineer, nothing like this.
My out of all my siblings, I only did civil services. So everybody was given the choice. What you want to do, you do. It's your life. You want to do arts, you want to do science, or you want to do medical, whatever. That was our choice.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I have seen you being very, very active in Prithvi Fine Arts and Cultural Center. You have been organizing
Prithvi is the
many
name
events.
of my father. Prithvi is the name of my father. And when I lost him in 2008, I was, then I decided that, I had taken a sabbatical while I was working. So I took a sabbatical just to complete my LLB. And I was doing law after, becoming a commissioner. And then my son had just got admission in Delhi University. Both of us were studying together, He was doing day classes and I was doing evening classes after office to complete my law.
Wow.
So, at that point of time, I was on a sabbatical for 6 months and I lost my father. Then I decided that I must, make some kind of a organization because of my, skills and interest in art and passion in art. So we decided to make a multicultural center. And where I reside in this house, this is on ground floor, and in the basement, we have a culture center. So we
let
do
us know
promote
more
art.
let us know more about the kind of activities you hold there. And I recently saw a post for 8th March also
Yes,
for Women Empowerment Day. You have some
we are
plans.
going to do an exhibition of 6 women artists.
Yeah.
Prithvi does promote young artists, young poets, and also whoever comes from abroad also. At very short notice, we invite them to read their poems or do something related to art or do a book launch or do a small musical concert. So people who are just, if I see a spark, even if the boy was only 18-year-old, I decided to do an event for him because he was, there's a very interesting story. This guy wanted to sell tickets and do an event on Kabir. And he was only 18, 19-year-old. St. Stephen's ka first year ka student tha, undergraduate.
Right.
And then he had few friends who told him, तुम्हारा ticket कौन खरीदेगा इतनी गर्मी में, जून में, दिल्ली में, लोधी रोड में यार, तो बोला कि नहीं, but I will do. Then they said there's a decent place, and they decided to talk to me and said that this guy is very bright and very eccentric. He doesn't realize कि कोई लोधी garden में आके उसका ticket नहीं खरीदेगा. So he wants to do a ticketing event, but he needs to be promoted and supported. Would you give your space? I said, दे दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? If you say that he's so bright, let him do it. And we decided to make his event successful. We told friends to buy a ticket and come for the Kabir event. We had some music, and I went and talked about Kabir being my very favorite poet. So all that we did to make him successful. We didn't want to fail him in his first venture. And after that, I recommend everywhere, if somebody says he's a good speaker, he speaks very well, he's very learned, he comes from a good background, his father is in Air Force. So this kind of events I do. All these decisions are taken from the heart, not from the brain. Because आप 18 साल के लड़के का एक solo event नहीं करोगे. But I like to do it. I go by the flow. I like to do such things. And that was it was house packed.
Yeah.
And people did buy tickets because I told everybody, तुम्हें ticket खरीद के आना है, इसका बच्चे का देखो, तुम बहुत अच्छा है, ये ऐसे करके, we all, saw to it that he becomes a success. And after that, once you see success and once you, your small goal is achieved, your one small dream is fulfilled, you will be capable of seeing bigger
Obviously.
dreams.
Yeah. Yes, yes, indeed.
So this
So
is the kind of event we do.
great, great. So Sangeeta ji, how did you develop your passion for filmmaking, documentaries?
Filmmaking. There's a story, when as an artist and as a young poet, I was very influenced by Keshav Malik, an English poet and an art critic. He was the art critic of India. He did art criticism for Times of India, Hindustan Times. Those were the days, when newspaper was very important, when people read reviews and then came to see art exhibitions.
Yes.
So he was that important a man, and he played a very vital role in my growth as an abstract artist.
Yeah.
I thought that whatever he says is so relevant, and he was very old, So I thought कि अगर कुछ हो गया तो ये documentation नहीं हो पाए. So I, on my own, as a tribute, I decided that I will produce a film on him. And then I approached somebody who was working in television, and he was a director there. I knew him very little, but I went and told him that I want to produce a film. Would you be able to shoot that film and help me? Because I did not had any technical know-how.
Right.
I was not a trained filmmaker. I had not gone to a film institute to learn anything.
Yeah.
So he said, हाँ करो, तुम थोड़ा सा उसका research कर लो, you do some groundwork, every time I said, let's shoot that film, and every time he said, थोड़ा सा scripting कर लो, get some groundwork, do his photographs, do his basic research, all that I did. And I got fed up, in 1 year's time, he didn't find time to shoot the film. So I was getting very, because I'm a very, I believe in speed. Once I decide I have to do it, I have to do it. Maybe I'm impatient.
Yeah.
That may be one thing in one way, but I believe in speed. So I was very disappointed. I came and told my son, see, this guy is not helping me. And if something happens to Keshav, then what will, I'll be very disappointed. This needs to be documented. Nobody has done any documentation on him and all that. So one day, he had just finished his education. He was about to join his job. I told him, now you're free, let's spend some time together. So on a weekend, we went to Kiran Nadar Museum to see some short films made by artists. So while we were seeing the film, my son has a very critical and very focused attitude towards things. He's a very independent person.
Right.
He said, इतने बकवास फिल्में इन लोगों ने बनाई, इससे तो अच्छा तुम बना ही लोगी मम्मा. तो तुम ऐसा क्यों नहीं करती हो कि why don't you are so upset about your film, so why don't you shoot your own film? I said, what? Come on, I don't know. I'm not technically qualified to. He said, you are an artist, and your photography is absolutely fine, and you do very good photography. So why can't you shoot? वैसे भी वो लोग क्या करेंगे, एक चेयर पे बैठा के कैशो का इंटरव्यू लेंगे, इतनी बकवास. He's such a you know him so well, and you understand his poetry, you understand what he says, he's a class
you
apart.
You can present that in altogether different way, in a more creative fashion.
He inspired me. Then next day I went to Keshav. I said, Keshav, Tanu is saying this, and this guy is not shooting a film, and it's getting very delayed. I'm thinking of shooting my own film. Keshav didn't say anything. He was a legendary figure. He didn't say anything. I kept talking to him, and after maybe 2 hours, I thought he thinks that I'm not the right person to shoot the film. So I didn't say, sir, Keshav, bye, I'm going now. So he came to drop me at the gate, Then he just smiled and looked at me, and he said, when do you want to start the shoot? So, he had faith in my capabilities and my son. These were the two guys who made me a filmmaker. Then we started in right earnest, and I decided to make a documentary. And then I wanted to, release it on his birthday and in a big way. So I went to Indian Council of Cultural Relations auditor. I asked them that I'm making a film, and so we want to give it a grand opening, and they had an auditorium where more than 350 people could sit. So we made a film, and I made a film and went and released it on his birthday.
Who did the voiceover?
A voiceover was done by voiceover in that film. Not much voiceover was there, but it was done by Babla Kochar. He is a very good.
Yesterday, that documentary that I watched.
That's my voiceover.
That's amazing.
That's my voiceover.
That's really professional.
Now I do it mine. You know, the first 3-4 films I did not do.
Mhm.
Almost my first 6-7 films I did not do. Now I have my own recording studio, sound studio, and we do our film editing. Everything I do. I'm
I've
a very
become quite
self-sufficient person.
pro in filmmaking. And
So voiceover I write my script or everything I do. The whole film is shot by me. All photography is done by me.
great.
Only for editing, I take a little help because on, those very technical editing softwares, they need a technical hand. But my technical hand is so dependent on me that if I say, isko aise karna, aise karna, aise karna, tab tak wo haath bhi nahi hilayega.
Right.
But then still you need it. He said, why don't you edit yourself? But then it's a very time consuming work.
Right.
I need, at least, filmmaking is a teamwork.
Yeah.
And my team consists of me and another person. That's it.
Yeah.
Only for editing, voiceover,
All
scripting, all that I do.
Yeah.
I love it, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Great. You have been very close to making a world record by painting a 200 meters of khadi, khadi cloth. What's the story?
That's, God has been kind that he gives me so many opportunities to make good, interesting stories. I was in Jaipur to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award as an artist. And while I finished my work, I had one extra day because the person who wanted to come back with me in my car said, ek din aur ruk ja, ek din aur ruk ja. Then, I thought, there's nothing, so I went to Sanganer to see, people, how do they do block printing and all. So I said, can I do a, on job, just hands-on experience le sakti hu? They said, why not? I did, and I did it with dabu. Dabu is a उसमें grains को सड़ा के गेहूं को उससे उसका एक मड से बनाते हैं, उससे पहले पेंट करते हैं. Then you dry it, and then you scrub it, and then you dye it. So I painted on bamboo silk, and we dried it. We tied and dyed it, and it came out very well. So I was thrilled. I said, why this is not, in the limelight and all. They said, now people do machine printing, and also they do chemical dyes of indigo. So indigo is a very own, cultivated plant, and we have such a great history of indigo movement in 1913-14 by Gandhi ji. So I thought that iska revival hona chahiye. So I took the colors from the extracted, from the plant, directly extracted. And I also wanted to promote hand spun khadar, which is still woven by hand, So I said, unless I do a very big painting, a small painting will not create any impact. So I said, मैं एक लंबी पेंटिंग बनाती हूँ, 100 meters की बनाऊंगी कम से कम. They said, बहुत टाइम लगेगा, और ये ब्लॉक प्रिंटिंग. मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं उसको ब्रश से दाबू से पेंट करूंगी, और I'll use my own techniques also. So that's the way. Then they said, when will you come back? I said, I'll come back in February. So you get me that. उतना तो spun करना पड़ेगा ना, hand spun करने के लिए.
Exactly.
So we got that done. और मैंने रियलाइज नहीं किया, मैंने सोचा मैं 100 मीटर करूंगी. करते गए मैंने कहा, ये कपड़ा किसका रखा है स्टॉक में जो रखा था. उन्होंने कहा कि आप ही का मैम, आप ही का. वो लोग, the people who were the labor who was there did not realize that did not belong to my stock. So मैंने 200 meters 9-10 दिन रात दिन करके पेंट करके बना दिया. So that is the way it came out. And it is a very good thing, because in India is the largest producer of indigo. The cultivation is very important, and the extract is so mysteriously blue and so live. I love indigo color, so it was fun to do that project. Just completed before COVID started, last March.
Yeah,
it's 1 year now.
Sangeeta, we wish you all the best for your all future projects and initiatives, and thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. It is always a pleasure to talk to, especially, women who, because I believe in connecting dots. If I can do anything, everybody can do it. So that is my message. If I can, then everybody can.
Thank you so much.
So all the best to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.